Alright, it is on today. Less trolling, more training. That's our theme today, and we are going to get after it. Alright, so this book, The Mind and the Brain by Jeffrey Schwartz, has shaped our work so much at Physiology First, at the Distance Project. And this is a brilliant, brilliant book that explores the neuroplasticity and the power of mental force. And what Schwartz was looking at when he wrote this was OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and some of the crazy ways that this was approached before somebody actually put some clear thinking towards it. So people used to lock people with OCD in warehouses and make them touch dirty walls to burn out the neural circuitry. And Schwartz was like, what are you guys doing? That's crazy. So what he talks about is when we want to make behavior change, he talks about the value in relabeling, reattribution, refocus, and revaluing. And what that looks like is understanding, one, the plumbing in the networks, like what's going on in our bodies and brains, right? Two, ultimately figuring out how to influence that. What things can we do to change that? Three, refocusing, like giving us a tool set to do it. Skills, behaviors, things we can work on. And then the fourth part is probably the most absent in all this stuff around behavior change. And it's revaluing. It's revaluing and saying, hey, this is something I prioritize being good at. So in today's world of, especially this week, where jumping on social media of any kind is ducking swords that are swinging wildly, I'm working to revalue my ability to not get lost in the bullshit and not to let it detract from my focus on the projects that we're trying to push forward to impact the world in a positive way. And it's really easy when somebody comes at you online or jumps in a comment or a post comes up that's clearly something you could engage in and be taken down the rabbit hole to somebody else's game, to remember what game you're in, to remember why you're there, to revalue that, to prioritize that skill, and ultimately to keep your eyes on the prize, which is, for me, I know for Lex, I know for a lot of you, our mission in the world and the dent that we seek to make in the universe and the positive change we seek to ultimately contribute to by being clear and not distracted in the weeds.
Good morning, everyone.
So what we do at the Distance Project on Thursdays is we have a class that's focused around skills development and just circling back to some positional principles and really hammering in on those. And that's what Thursdays are all about. So Coach Lex is going to show you one of our favorite movements.
Exactly. This is one of my favorite new movements because it really helps you lock down the rib cage for that overhead press.
So Lex is going to grab a band here. I spent way too much time as a coach yelling, rib cage down, without understanding why the athlete couldn't keep the rib cage down. Lex is locking out with that band, ribs are down, she's showing us some overhead presses. There's a lot of reasons that an athlete might be in a position where the ribs flare up, and we can talk about breathing, we can talk about development throughout the abdominal wall, but ultimately this is a killer exercise to remind the athlete how it should feel to ultimately execute a press without going into an extended pattern.
Exactly, it makes you feel like a boss.
I'm so super pumped because today we are jumping online later today with the online sleep coach to talk about the Breathe to Perform presentation we'll be giving at the Adaptation Summit. That's happening November 13th through 15th. And we are so excited to just talk about what are the practical applications of breathwork in your life. How would you use breathwork day to day? Go figure the run to the dinner dinner without scamming. Let me show you up. I can really show you how it's done. I don't like this anymore. I don't want to live it like this anymore. Make them out of here, bitch. Walk around to goddamn bitch. The kid in my row. Let the niggas know. Quick shit. Oh God, no. Nigga don't flip. Bitch. Let it up. My nigga face bitch. A hole.